Alright, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to give myself a report card for Set 5 Legends of the Force, which is the commencement of Season 1 for Star Wars Unlimited. We've already had Season 0. Season 0 was Sets 1 to 4 that culminated in the Galactic Championship. So this period of time that I'm looking at is from July to the current date, which is the end of October 2025. I'm going to look at my competitive results. What I've done sort of on the channel here, you participated along the way in terms of myself attending PQs, picking what decks and that to play. So I'm going to look back at the 4 PQs I attended, have a look at my results, have a look down at some showdowns that I attended, and give myself a rating for that. So let's move ahead. So the first one I want to talk about is way back in July 2025. I did attend the Galactic Championship in Vegas. Technically, this was part of Season 0. It was the final boss of Season 0. But I wanted to quickly touch on this because it was a large part of the competitive gameplay for this set, Legends of the Force. So I already had a day one buy into this tournament. I didn't have to go through the grueling day one fight that everyone else, a lot of other people had to go through. I qualified last set in set 4, jumped the light speed with Ray Dartavolt, and I was able to get that buy, and that made that day pretty relaxing. We got given a lunch by FFG. We got given a whole bunch of swag and that along the way as well, and then we were fresh for day 2. So day 2, I finished 6-2. I did take Iden Dartavolt to this tournament. There was a lot of practice beforehand where I was contemplating whether taking Thrawn Dartavolt, Yoda Red, or Iden Dartavolt. I settled on Iden Dartavolt. I thought that was the best pick for the meta, that 4-throw meta that was the Galactic Championship. I probably wouldn't have changed my choice. I would have changed the composition of my deck. But having said that, I made it through day 2. My only losses being to a Han2 Green, who ended up finishing in the top 16, and Sip on Talzin, and he ended up finishing top 16 as well. So then I progressed to day 3. Day 3 didn't go to plan. I was able to win one game, so it was at 1-2. I lost to a Boba Dartavolt, which is pretty much the worst matchup for that deck, and that was the only Boba left in the field at that stage. So it was kind of unlucky to pair into that person as a Brazilian guy, really nice. And I also lost to a Han2 Blue, which was the first Han2 Blue that I'd lost to, and that guy ended up making it into the top 8 as well. So I was pretty happy with those results. I was happy just to get into day 3, to be honest. Myself and Clint, when we realized we qualified for that 3rd day, that was the real achievement for me. I hadn't played card games in person for 20-something years. I only recently come back to competitive in-person card games. So it was a big achievement for me to hit day 3. The winnings were awesome. We got the top 64 Saber pack. We got some black packs, silver packs, prize wall tickets. It was really worth attending, given that we finished that high. I didn't get any season 1 points. If you'd not made it to day 3, you could have attended another tournament. Actually, it might have started on day 2. If you missed out on getting to day 2, that tournament gave you some season 1 points. So we had a teammate get some of those along the way, but because I was in the main tournament, I did not get any season 1 points. So that was a Galactic Championship. From there, we moved along to the PQs, and the first PQ I attended was in August 2025. This time I took the deck, one of the other decks that I was going to take Galactics, and that was Yoda Red, or Yoda Force Red. This was still when Force Throw was legal. I ended up finishing 7-0-2, not dropping a game on the entire day. I was able to ID late into the Swiss rounds. And yeah, that it was a good feeling being able to get those season 1 points of 100 and realize that I'm already qualified for the Vegas next year without having to grind the rest of the season. There were some great prizes here as well. We got some Legends of the Force booster boxes. Palms Off Gaming sponsored the event, so we got some folders and some collectible, collectible holders and that from Palms Off Gaming. I got the champion mat, initiative token, and the promos along the way. So it was a great start for me, being able to win that very first PQ in Sydney. So from there, I travelled to Adelaide with the team. This one didn't go as planned. I took Yoda Red, ended up finishing 3-2-1. I played against a teammate in round 2, Tivi, and even though we did play and I did win, we travelled a long way, and I was trying to get everyone else as many points and qualified along the way as we can. So I actually conceded round 2. But I was still in the tournament even up to the last round. So my only other loss ended up being my win and in. I was on Yoda Red, and I ended up getting Vader 4, the Pilot Vader blue, which is not a great matchup for any Force-based deck. So I narrowly missed out the top cut. If I had have went into the top cut, I think I was a good chance to move up the rankings, given what was in the top 8. But who knows? It's another tournament in itself once you get there. So I ended up finishing 15. I got the Lucky Door prize, one of the promos, and that the Dragon Slayer always puts on a good show there. So no points on the second PQ that I attended. So then we move on to the third PQ. So I changed decks this time, and this was one of the decks that I participated on stream, where I ran the sort of qualifier for what deck I would take to a PQ. The way it worked was I picked 4 leaders, and then I played them live on stream with you guys, and whichever deck had the most number of wins, that's the one I took to the PQ. In that week, it was Thrawn Data Vault. This was still Force Road legal, this tournament, and I finished 6-1-2. I won all my matches up until the final, and I conceded to a teammate in the final to get Tibbo across the line and get him his qualification points, so he's ready for Vegas next year. That got me another 35 Season 1 points. I finished second on the day, and my winnings were some Carbonite packs, some booster boxes, initiative token, promos, and that as well. So that deck was firing that day, and I had some really grueling matches in my side of the bracket in the top 8 in that as well. So I had a Kira Data Vault and also an Iden Data Vault I had to fight through to get through to that final, and then it was a good feeling just to say, you got it, man, and then concede, and then we go home early and start drinking, have a few drinks there, have something to eat, and it was a really good day and a good outcome, and I exceeded my expectations on that day for sure. Then after that, I attended the Sydney PQ. This one was a 32-player one, so it was one less round, and that's why you see it's 6-1-2 rather than a 5-1-2 rather than 6-1-2. That's what I finished for the day, 5-1-2. I won all my rounds. I had a draw round 2 against Clint, but other than that, I won all my rounds to the final, and then I conceded to another teammate, CJ, who was on Boba Data Vault, and he then got his qualification points as well. So I was able to pick up another 35 here, but you can see another 2 PQs in a row where I conceded in the final. Who knows how many points I could have ended up with if I hadn't have conceded those. So I am part of the BDST Star Wars Unlimited competitive team, and given we don't have any sectors and regionals, we're really just trying to get everyone qualified as we can. So that at that one there, I took Han 1 green, and I did the same thing on stream. So the live streams that I regularly do, I play 10 games straight. I picked 4 leaders, and I said, guys, whichever one across these nights wins the most games, that's the one I'm going to take. and for that week it was Han 1 green. And yeah, that system seems to be working, so I'm going to continue it next set as well. So that was the Sydney PQ. They were the 4 I attended. So a summary: I finished 21, 4, and 7. A lot of those draws were IDs. There was 2 normal ones, but the rest were IDs. I had 4 match losses. My only actual match losses was in Adelaide, where I played against Yoda Red versus the Vader 4 Blue. That was my only actual loss across the PQ series. The other 3 were concedes, which, who knows what would happen. I may have lost, may have won those ones. I finished on 170 leaderboard points, and I'm currently sitting in the 22nd position on the leaderboard. Now, if you are in top 32, you get flights and accommodation paid for at the end of the competitive season when we get ready for Galactics next year. So if I hadn't have, I did the calculations, if I hadn't have conceded and let's say I had won those 2 finals, or I had have got some more points in Adelaide, made it into the top 8, hadn't conceded round 2, I could be on 300 plus points, and at 300 would make me number 4 as well, which would have been a very healthy start to the competitive season. So we don't have sectors, we don't have regionals, so we thought it was going to be too hard for us to qualify, but who knows. So number of team members qualified. We qualified 4 again across the team. So Thibaut, CJ, myself, and Luke in Western Australia. So we've got probably another 3 or 4 to try and get qualified. The other guys like Clint and James and Tivy all picked up points along the way. So they're well on their way as well. So that was the PQ. I did attend some showdowns, only 4 this season, this set. The showdowns were like right at the end of the set, which I found really strange. I think the Galactics sort of upset that a bit. I would prefer to see the showdowns at the first part of the set. So those were the way I took to the showdowns. I took Boba 2 Yellow to Steel City. We had a special showdown. That showdown was only leaders that hadn't made a top 8 in a PQ. I took Boba 2 Yellow, which did really well on that night. I took Boss Blue to HR Games. Han Green to Hall of Heroes. I was beating in the final by Stephen, who was on Han 2 ECL, which is probably the best deck currently at the meta until we hit the next set. And then Thrawn Dartavolt I took to From the Deep. I lost in Swiss to a Kylo 2 Red, which, can beat anyone on its day. So that was the showdown summary. Got some nice promos along the way, the Grand Inquisitor. So next set, I'm planning to attend 3 Premier tournaments, 2 Sydney, 1 Canberra, and then also the limited PQ, which is actually the first one. In that one is in Melbourne. So that's my plans for attendance. I have no plans for sectors or regionals because they are on the opposite side of the world. So hopefully one day we'll get a sector out here. That would be great for this side of the world. I plan to keep doing live streams. They'll resume again soon, and they'll be predominantly around PQ practice and a little bit of playing jank decks and trying out some of the new leaders in Secrets of Power. We also have a BDST Gaming Patreon now. So that Patreon has a whole bunch of exclusive access to our team. We've got a Discord access with a whole bunch of hidden channels, and that way you can interact, deck lists, exclusive videos there as well. And then I am also looking at if there's enough interest in potential coaching for Star Wars Unlimited. If you are interested in coaching, just please comment down in the comments of this video. We may add it as sort of like a purchasable item on the Patreon there as well. But I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, so there's no obligation to do any Patreon or coaching or anything like that. I will keep doing the lives. We'll chat in the lives. Send me deck lists. I'll try and play some of those on stream. Should tell me what you're doing and what your plans are for the next set as well. Okay, so anytime you win a PQ, I think you got to give yourself a high grade. That these things are not easy to win. There's a very high amount of competition, and there is a lot of luck involved. I think I was pretty lucky this set in terms of a few things sort of went my way. You have to be lucky on the day, you have to be lucky on the round pairings, but you also have to be in a meta that suits you. And I think Legends of the Force, out of all of the metas so far, was one of the ones that suited me too. And I actually took serious decks as well. A lot of previous sets, I'd be taking like Akbar or something weird like that, Iden Yellow, and these ones I didn't take the top deck like Han 2 or anything like that, but I took something that was on the fringe but still really competitive, added my own little twist to it, and had a lot of fun in those tournaments. And lastly, I just want to say thanks to everyone that's supported the channel along the way, everyone that's liked or subscribed to any of the videos, given comments, and that they have enjoyed playing the game with being able to interact with people at the same time, and then seeing what everyone else is up to and seeing how their gameplay is improving. Hopefully I have helped somewhere along the way, and I look forward to opening some packs of Secrets of Power and getting into the new set, and then ultimately looking forward to set 7, where we hit rotation and then everything changes, and that's going to be a lot of discovery on what kind of game Star Wars Unlimited ends up being, and what kind of fun decks and that we can build once we're out of the insane power level of Spark of Rebellion and Shadows of the Galaxy. Anyway, well, thanks again for tuning in, and good luck at your pre-releases, and I will see you for Secrets of the Power, or Secrets of Power, sorry. All right, okay, see you next time.